extent, I kind of agree. Now, when you're stepping on currency, it's more like saying it's more like you insulted the country because it's part of those things. Just like when we have like the flag, the national anthem. I mean, all of those things. Okay. Those are part of the things
Symbols
that exactly
exactly.
So when you mistreat or you talk about it or you downplay it somehow, it's more like you insulting the nation as it itself. So yes, to some extent I agree. Even though I feel like it can be extra because I mean. Well, again, it's in the Constitution. I mean, it's something that is already backed up by law. It's something that's already there. So if I have to say anything now, it's going to be like acting, against the particular act, right? But to be honest, right, I feel like it's something that everybody needs to know, right? Even though there's a bit of bias in this story that we are about to talk about, to be honest, if you, I mean, the likes of Yabo Ojo, you call them, there was something that when it comes to this whole story, right, that back of my head, I always want to ask. This particular place that we've talked about just is more about Naira. It's concerned about Naira and all of that. So the parts where Dina said, oh, even down to spraying other currencies is against the Constitution or against Nigeria, the Act and all of that. I wanted to ask what exactly is going on. And I think, from now, right, we should literally have an EFCC person come and, talk to us about this whole, abuse of Naira and all of that. Because to be, like, I mean, just like what you already read, it's more concerned about Naira. So why exactly are you also attacking people that are spraying dollar and all of that? But like I said, it's something that they already said, so we can't go against it. It's something that everybody now needs to know. So whether you intended or it's not intended, we are less concerned about it. The question is, was the action carried out or not? Yes, it was so. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get your point. So let me go back to one of the things that was highlighted here from the CBN. It says, firstly, that it incurs financial costs because when you mutilate this note and there's a strain on their budget, they have to reprint and all and all. But I'm looking at it, the money, it's not like you're spraying it and we're sweeping it away to the dustbin. My chief bridesmaid is there
to She's going to pick it.
Pack it for us. Literally, there's money spraying, right? It's for you. It's not like it's to be thrown away. It's not like a waste.
No, I guess
it's just it's a cultural thing to celebrate. I'm not trying to understand everybody together. Do you get it? So it's just a way to celebrate together, I think, by spraying money. And I think culture varies. Maybe this is a Nigerian thing.
It's just a Nigerian thing.
I don't know where it started from. I don't know if other countries, other cultures, maybe even in Africa, I don't know if they've imbibed this, if we have influenced them to do this. So sometimes I wish I could go back to the origin of it. When did we start thinking that spraying money was a way to show that we are vibing in parties? But and I think the Constitution has that struggle many times. Many of the things that we see being passed into law always has a struggle with culture.
Sure.
Do you understand? This one seems a bit, it's not so, I don't know what the fine is for it, but it doesn't look so heavy.
It's about 60,000 naira.
Exactly, compared to other things that the Constitution, fights when it comes to culture. I think even this surrogacy thing that they want to pass into law too, is somehow like it's fighting between culture and the Constitution. But now, let's go straight to this particular story that has made rounds. And today, the conversation is to try to understand the balance that EFCC is trying to put out. Because if you come out to put a law and everybody is bound by that law, once some people are clearly seen to evade that law, we're going to have questions, right? And we have seen it over time. So firstly, the video from Tompolo's birthday, do we interpret it as Naira abuse by association, or does intent and action matter more in cases like this? For example, I think some videos that went about that I saw, it wasn't like he was the one spraying the money.
No, he wasn't the one, but somebody was spraying him as he was dancing.
So how do we interpret that kind of case? Because people have been arguing that, other celebrities that the EFCC have had to hold and all, they were the ones involved in the spraying. In this case, the man was just trying to enjoy himself, and some people felt that, sir, let us enjoy with you. So how do you think we can approach this kind of peculiarities in the case?
I like the fact that it was already stated that they've not arrested him. Instead, they're inviting him to come, which is okay. Do you understand? So just like the way they invited the likes of Yabo Ojo. I mean, when Yabo Ojo came out to, tell us what exactly went down between her and the EFCC, she stated it that according to, from what we read, right, she said there that EFCC told her that, in the particular video that we saw people that you invited to your party spraying money. So I mean, that particular place I read, it wasn't like she was the one spraying money, but people were spraying money on her and all of that, right? They were stepping and, doing all sorts of, more like abuse of Naira, just like, we've already stated.
What are other celebrities that have been captured?
Now, the question is, like I said, he wasn't arrested. But, of course, he has to be brought in. Now, when you invite someone, you should tell the person that, oh, this is what and what you've done. If he pays the fine, fine. The fine is about 50,000 naira. If he pays the fine, fine, then we keep him moving. Again, it depends on them, really. But the question, the particular thing that we are supposed to note out here is the fact that abuse of Naira was actually took place. Yes or no? Yes, it did. It might not really be from him, but the person that he invited to the party or to whatever ceremony they had was the one paying the money. Do you understand? So if they don't, I mean, it's even two ways. If the person in question should actually even be brought in. Do you understand? But if you don't know him, we know one person, which is, him giving probably one of the reasons why, I mean, there was a party and all. So you just invite him in. You tell him, oh, this is what and what and what and what. Then you state out if you want him to provide the person that did the spraying himself, fine and good. But really, I feel like the action has already been carried out. So an action must definitely take place. Invite him, we'll talk about it, then we keep him moving. But the part where you now say, oh, we should not judge or we should not do this, I feel like that's extra, to be honest. I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're against something that is already, it's put out there, it's a law already, go for it. Invite this man, you guys do the talk, then we keep him moving. But the part where you now say, oh, because of his personality or because of who we know he is, right, then you now want to start cutting corners and all, I think that's actually wrong, and that's not you following the law.
Interesting. Let me read this very amazing statement from Iyabo Ojo. Remember, during that time, she had, the questioning and everything. So she did come out to make a statement. And let us see if we can pick something from here. She said, Alice Iyabo Ojo, I recently had an experience with the EFCC Nigeria after receiving an invitation letter while I was in the UK. Upon my return, I visited the EFCC on the 5th day of May 2025, where I was asked several questions relating to my personal bio, data, career, work experiences, and companies, amongst others. The EFCC officials showed me videos extracted from my daughter's wedding, where guests, including colleagues and friends, were spraying Naira and foreign currencies.
Have you heard it?
Yes, I was asked if I knew this was illegal, and I explained that I thought only abuse or mutilation of the Naira was an offense. The EFCC officials clarified that spraying money, including on people's bodies, is prohibited. I was surprised to learn that spraying any currency, including dollar, is also not allowed. After questioning, I was allowed to leave the same day, but my personal lawyer, O.I. Salami, stood in for me as I may be called upon again. Given this experience, I strongly advise against spraying any currency in Nigeria to avoid issues with the EFCC. Perhaps it's time to reconsider this long-standing tradition, and let's prioritize caution and avoid any potential problems. So now let us talk about celebrity arrests specifically, because I've not heard of many arrests for average Nigerians that spray Naira, which is making me wonder why there's so much focus. Because look at the whole questioning that happened. Maybe normally, according to every arrest process, you should question their career, their age, and everything. But I want to be very clear that it's not a targeted arrest for some sort of benefit some way. Because if you really want to get average Nigerians that are going against this rule, they're in number. If you go to Bella Nigerian weddings, you can see 50 arrests in one day. But we don't hear of the fuzz and buzz about it from the EFCC. The only one we see that, I mean, everybody's talking about is when it has to do with celebrities, Iyabo Ojo. I mean, maybe because, I don't know, I'm having a lot of thoughts in my mind exactly. Because this is a law that needs to be passed, and you are really stamping on that law. We're going to see a lot of parading of EFCC every Saturday, every Sunday, every Friday, in fact, literally every day of the week. But we don't see this. It's only when there's one high-profile wedding, one Chivido, one Juma Jok's wedding, one Kubana. That's where you come out. Why? You want... Is there something we don't know? Is there some sort of... Is their own fine a little bit more? Maybe you know that average Nigerians, they will beg their way through. And maybe this is not an arrest that is worth it. I've been thinking about it too, because I've not seen a lot of fuzz and buzz about it.
Yeah.
So now let's even talk about it. How do you think law enforcement agents, how do you think they should start handling public arrests? Because if you look at this VDM case, pardon me, a lot of celebrity arrests, right, it has a lot of questions with the processes that goes into it. So I don't know, what do you think different law regulations bodies should start imploring when it comes to arresting individuals that are, in the high part of the society? without necessarily causing the average citizens to have questions, because every of EFCC activity so far this year has brought about different questioning, and I don't think that's how a law enforcement agency should be. We should be safe and trust whatever you are doing without some biases in our minds and everything. But so far it looks like why are they doing this? Why is it this one? Or is it our own problem? Is it we that are just being biased because
I don't think so.
So let me in on your thoughts.
Now, if you remember the former Kogi, what's the name? Yaya Bello, if I can remember. I think he was one of the persons that did some things with our money. Till today, there's no updates on that. And there are so many other persons like that. Maybe it's the work of the EFCC to ensure that anything, things like that don't happen. Do you understand? And if eventually they happen, you bring them to book. Do you understand? But there's no story about what's going on with Yaya Bello. I mean, before now, we are always hearing, is that Yaya Bello goes to their office or they go and find him somewhere. There was that, I don't know if you get it, was as if they're acting Hollywood film for us. But after some time, till today, we've not heard any updates on it. Now we're hearing of the CBEC story. I mean, there are a lot of things that when you see an organization do, you would want to ask what exactly is going on here. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if you remember, during that VDM time, you see many people asking, okay, why is it that in VDM Stone you're arresting him, but for every other person you're inviting them? But until VDM said, oh, maybe true, they told me, but me, I did not see. Do you understand? And that's why there was that question of, oh, but you know VDM's lawyer, so why did you not go, send the invites to VDM's lawyer? You would have just pass the information to, VDM. So really, when you look at, their footsteps and all of that, it's not looking clear. Their footprints, exactly. It's not looking clear. It's not looking neat or anything. So that's why people want to ask. Word neat. It's not. They're not, to be honest, exactly. So that's the reason why everybody's asking what exactly is going on. Now, it reached the likes of Yabo and all of that. You invited them and we keep it moving. If it's Tompolo now, you can't think say we should not come to conclusion. I'm confused. What exactly is coming to conclusion? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like I said, it reach every other person. We not even hear the story. Now them they tell us, say, oh, you invited me, blah blah blah. We keep it moving. Even AY came out. Do you understand? Many persons like that came out and said, oh, EFCC invited them. It reached this person and say, oh, let's not come to conclusion before you invite. Invite first, more hear waiting, more hear the updates. Not be whether they come to conclusion or not. I don't think they're supposed to be bothered about that. Okay. So you get the point. So that's the reason why most of the times when we see their actions and all, I mean, to be honest, I really don't even know how to feel about EFCC right now. But I just know that sometimes, anything that they do, I just look at it and say, okay, let's keep it moving.
Let's keep it moving.
But you get it.
All right, we'll have to take a short break now because if I let God's beauty continue, she was going to talk about EFCC till 10 a.m. So we'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll look through some comments that we've seen on social media and hear people's thoughts about this whole matter so far. And of course, we want to hear your own thoughts on this matter as well. Our phone lines are open. You can chat us on YouTube and we'll definitely read all of them. So please, let's take the short break. We'll be right back.
I describe myself as a polyhumanitarian, someone who believes politics should be rooted in love for country and empathy for its people. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Politics Uncensored, a show dedicated to tackling the political challenges that matter most to Nigerians. This is more than just a show. It's a space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the issues that shape our nation. From policy reforms to elections, leadership tussles to governance at all levels, and the overall political landscape in Nigeria. We will dive deep into how politics is impacting our everyday lives. So join me on this journey as we challenge the status quo, spark dialogue, and work together to build a brighter future for Nigeria. Let's make our voices heard and drive the change we deserve.
Welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us this past few minutes. We've been talking about EFCC, Naira abuse, and of course the recent Tompolo case. So I've gone through social media to go and fish out some comments that have Nigerians talking about this particular case. So it says here, someone here named Sophie here on a page said every Nigerian deserves a fair hearing. And where have I heard that before? Nowhere. Some people say
in the Constitution.
We would have been shocked if you said anything other than what he said. Okay, he's referring to a comment here. Let me go backtrack a little bit. He says, we expected this from you guys anyway, and I like that you didn't disappoint us.
I mean...
Which is sad.
Emphasis.
It is sad. It is not heard of anywhere that citizens of a country should lose. If there's anything you should have hope in your country, it has to be the justice system and the judiciary and the legislature. In fact, many times, it might not even be the executive all the time. Because, I mean, the executive is the executive. But you see the judiciary, the legislative, the justice system, it's a non-negotiable. I don't know how, there are different processes to how these people are, appointed or put into power. Sometimes we focus a whole lot on the executive, 2027 elections, 2023 elections, who is going to be our president.
Yeah.
But if you really look at these things, some of the things we need to start paying attention to are our justice system across board. Because if an average Nigerian citizen is losing hope, he's using words like disappointed, it's a very, very sad thing to begin with. So someone said, if you like, no make money, rules are for poor people. So I'm wondering why they feel like... But that's not even the case here. In this instance, I think it's even the poor people that are benefiting the most, people that are not even spraying the most money. Nobody is coming for you. How many people have you seen arrested by EFCC in this case? So at this point, poor people should be sipping their juice and be thanking God. He also says, I'm trying to get some other comment here. I think some people say pastor had to comment on this as well, and then trust Nigerians to come after religious leaders when they comment on issues and they don't seem to take the side of these people. And that's all I can take. If I see more comments, I'll definitely read it out to you guys. So yes, you've mentioned a number of things. We've seen Iyabojo's comment, and that's a very good comment because it's directing caution to individuals and Nigerian citizens. So from now on, let's even prefer a solution. How do you think we can now celebrate? How do you think we can celebrate our parties? Do you think it's going to be easy from now on to actually have our celebrations without spraying of Naira and dollar and everything?
I think it is. To be honest, most of the times, I feel like why we do certain things is because of our mindset, right? The way you think about certain things is, of course, how you would do it. Do you understand? So I feel like with or without spraying of money, party go still go well. You go still dance our dance. I mean, to some persons, dance is the highlight. I mean, someone like me, for every time I want to go to a party, that's why I actually don't go. But when I want to go to, I'm ensuring that I'm there to dance and be happy and all of that.
I want to say something before you continue. Can we tweak this law a bit? Because I've also seen some celebrations where they're not spraying the money. They just have different bundles. They're not even using their hand to touch it. They will take it from a particular, maybe a basin or something and pour it there. Do you think Nigeria should start looking? Because I think the way we are wired in this country is that we look for alternative. We say we should not go here. We say, okay, we're not going there, but we can pass it to still get there. Do you understand? So do you think Nigeria should start looking at a loophole in that sense? Or we should just totally hands off from this whole spraying of Naira?
I think we should totally hands off, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we should look for a way.
No, see,
you should look for a way.
We
should be doing transfers or dancing. Say, call your account number.
Everyone works now. I mean, that works perfect. We still do that. It's not like we don't do that. There are people that are very quiet. There are people that when they go to parties, they're very quiet. They do their transfer and they go. There are people like that.
What's a quiet wedding? I mean, what kind of wedding do you go for?
To be honest, I think that's a beautiful one, really. I mean, go to a party, send the money that you need to send, then probably dance a few, some jollof rice and chicken, and you leave.
And just go. Maybe just give gifts instead. I think for parties these days, before...
You don't have to give gifts. It's before that they used to give gifts.
True.
You don't have to give
couples seated somewhere, and then family members, you see kettle, microwave,
gas cooker, and all of those.
everything. They don't do it anymore. I think everybody's just...
Everybody now is money, money.
And honestly, do you know what I think about this whole money spraying?
Tell me.
Sometimes it's not even about celebrating the couples. It's about flaunting your
Of
wealth.
course now.
Because I did watch one video one time. This has not to a dish session, but I mean, what can we say?
Tell me.
I watched one video one time. So a person was actually spraying money. It was 200 Naira notes.
Oh.
Right? Some Odogu came and said,
1,000 Naira.
what's all this? And he literally pushed away the 200 Naira note that the person was spraying to now put, it was even $1. So they even have to say that it's not even $100
Yeah,
that you're putting, $1. You don't even have the money. But so it also shows that sometimes some of these laws, we can want to criticize it and all of that, but maybe it's even needed to curb some, excesses that we see in parties and weddings. Because sometimes you go for some people weddings and you think it's all about you. I think if you go to celebrate, I'm just using weddings for example, because I see more weddings. If you go to celebrate people, it should be more about them. But
Of
today
course.
we have had, you say of course, today people are going for people's weddings and different celebrations and they're thinking about how they're going to overdress. We've had comments so far on someone dressing more than the person that is celebrating.
I don't know what that is. But see, I would dress the way I want to dress. It depends on you as a celebrant to also get your things together. No, let's be for real, because I've heard this before where people feel like, oh, why you're not supposed to overdress. What is overdress really? I literally just dress the way I want to be addressed. I dressed in a certain way.
There's something called dressing for the occasion. And for the occasion means that if you're an invited guest, dress like an invited guest.
Exactly.
Don't dress like the celebrant. The truth is, you're just making it feel like people should have freedom. It's not English.
How?
It's just what is expected. This person that is celebrating would look all glamorous and everything. I don't want to call a particular case I saw online one time.
No, tell me. I want us to actually talk about it. Tell me, what is it? Who is the person?
I don't want to talk about
If
it.
it's pretty Mike, I don't know what it is.
I don't want to talk about
because
it.
They have brought out all of these people. To be honest, I really don't know what that is to be. See, to be honest, people that are very fashionable, right? People that love fashion a lot, no matter what the dress code is, they will still come out and beat every other person. So you cannot take it out. That's what fashion is. You invited somebody, be okay with it. So which one is the person dressed more? The person.
If there's a code.
I don't know.
If the code, except the code says extravaganza.
Right.
You know extravaganza. Do as you so please.
Oh God,
then you can do it and will not question. But if there's some dress code, or you know that okay, this is how I'm supposed to look like. There's an idea of how everybody looks like. Of course, you can still be pretty with that your idea. Let me tell you what Kiki is saying here.
Clear.
Kiki said, I will spend at parties. EFCC is coming for you, Kiki. He said, how would they know the couple has people and I be lower too? It's not necessarily Naira abuse. I just think that this Naira use thing needs to be addressed. Kiki, please don't spend for parties. So Ayaboja has come to tell us that we should apply caution at this point, because nobody wants this culture thing has to put on a hold, and we can find different means to celebrate with people. And I'm going to end on this point. Honestly, parties are not really about you. Yes, you are there to celebrate people, but we need to start having these couples in mind. It's not a show off. It's not a show off. I have a lot of criticism with Nigerian weddings these days. One day I'm going to write a blog on it. Criticism even from the dance steps. Yes, all those bridal parties that they used to do. I have criticisms. God, you're not making me say this by criticism.
Oh,
you are looking at me with some very condemning eyes. Yes, there are a lot of criticisms for different things that have been happening in Nigerian weddings so far. But that will be a conversation for another day. Let's not deviate from the essence of today's conversation. Naira abuse is already a crime in our country. There are fines. Hopefully, the legislators don't sign this thing to another bill and then it's already leading to jail term. Because as of now, there's jail term.
That's what Bobrisky went for now.
I honestly thought
so
it was just
6 months.
Fine.
No. So there are two. It depends on how strong your crime is. So there's 6 months and there's also 50,000 naira. So it's both for you or one of them,
depending on the grievance of your friends.
Yes.
Kiki is
Probably
so funny. She has another comment
Tell
here.
me.
She said she's following you here.
Okay.
Now the celebrant no get close to me. I will come.
Simple. Emphasis. There's not two ways to
I'm
this
not
thing.
inviting both of you to any of my parties.
That's what it is.
I'm not inviting you. Okay, so maybe I don't have clothes. interesting. So we're going to take, we're ending the conversation right here. And it's still Happy Children's Day to everyone. Kiki is wishing everyone Happy Children's Day. I'm wishing every child listening to us or anyone who has a child Happy Children's Day. I'm wishing myself, again, Happy Children's Day. And tomorrow, our conversation will be around health and wellness. And of course, it's going to be fully packed. So do not miss this for anything. See you 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. tomorrow.